in human rights. Join me this afternoon to welcome Mr. JUSTINE IJEOMAH.
Thank you very much.
Well, he is here with us as we continue in this program. He will introduce himself the more, tell you his organization, his area of advocacy, but I know him to be much in police stories, police advocacy, domestic violence advocacy. But when we go for this short break and come back, Mr. IJEOMAH, who is here live in Port Harcourt, will introduce himself and tell you, viewer, more of what he is into. Please don't go away.
Nigerians, our fearless officers and men of the Nigerian military are winning the war against Boko Haram. Today, all occupied territories have been recovered and Boko Haram has been degraded. Our affected brothers and sisters are getting their lives back. However, they are now after you and me. In our mosques, churches, schools, motor parks, markets, entertainment centers, and public gatherings. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me. Nigeria, unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Yes, you are welcome back. Before we went on that short break, I had introduced to you Mr. JUSTINE IJEOMAH, who is the Executive Director, Human Rights, Social Development and Environmental Foundation, based here in Port Harcourt. But he is not a Port Harcourt based man only. He's he considered the globe, the world is his base. So, Mr. IJEOMAH, our viewers out there watching all over the world would like to know who you are. Could you please let them know who you are?
Thank you very much. My name is Comrade JUSTINE IJEOMAH. I'm the Executive Director of Human Rights, Social Development and Environmental Foundation, HURSDEF. I'm also the 2013 Paranga Prize winner. HURSDEF is a grassroots human rights organization that has a national headquarters in Rivers State, precisely now at 20 Udi Street, Maiwandiob, Port Harcourt. Where our organization have been into advocacy, campaign, and also several interventions to release indigent persons when they have conflict with the law, when they are being subjected to torture. And also we handle many cases of domestic violence. And also our organization, in partner with our international partner Amnesty International, have been in forefront also of campaigning on the issue of abolition of death penalty because of our understanding, because our criminal justice system, which have a tripod, and that tripod that the criminal justice system stand on is on the prisons, the judiciary, and the police. And on this tripod is where Nigerian criminal justice system stands on. And we are strongly convinced that this system does not really properly protect the rights of the common man. And often it is the common man are often the victims of these abuses. That's why often you have cases of human rights abuse. 97 to 98% of cases of human rights abuses are often the indigents, the poor, are often the victims. So that's why it has been a motivating force, because we really want a change. When I mean change, I mean a positive change, that where the right of the poor can be protected, and also that our governments can be able really to protect the rights of its citizens, which includes the poor, because often the system in this country is unfavorable to the rich. Any issue that really affecting the rich is where the government will give quick intervention to address. But when it involves the poor masses, often they doesn't really care much about it. But really there is some new development and awareness, because the people have started to some way, because like the impact of the social media taking it upon themselves to really air their views and expose some of these atrocities, and we have been seeing some quick response to it to some extent.
Well, could it then mean that HURSDEF, your organization, is focusing much on the indigent, the poor, the downtrodden? Because you said oftentimes attention is given much to when matters concern the rich, the influential. So does it mean that you focus only when it concerns the poor?
Yes, we say that with boldness, because of the rich have the resources to seek for redress. They have the resources to get the best lawyer to defend their rights. But the challenge we have today is that the poor doesn't have the resources. The criminal justice system didn't, because if you go to prisons, you will be very, very clear of what I'm saying, because we are on the field and we interface with them on daily basis. We can know the voluminous of what these people go through, and that's why a lot of them, you see, they will tell you that we don't have confidence in this system, we don't have confidence in this government. But it's like nobody knows what they have gone through, because who wears the shoe knows where it pinches him. So, and despite time, really, that's why HURSDEF, we are giving full attention and our focus to make sure we protect those downtrodden and the poor.
If that be the case, we understand you have a wide experience when it comes to torture issues, when it comes to domestic violence issues. What is torture? What is torture?
Yeah, torture is barbaric and it can never be justified. Torture is absolutely prohibited. Torture is the act of subjecting a fellow human being to excruciating pain to extract information or for sadistic pleasure. These are in a simple layman understanding, how any person can understand it. And you see, often people that are being subjected to torture are often the indigent ones, the poor people, because when the security agents arrest the elites or the rich, they know that if you subject them to torture, that they will seek for redress, because they have the resources to get the best lawyer to seek for redress. But when they do it to the poor, even in that process, they will be subject. Some of them will die through torture. With experience of many years we have been in the field, we have recorded tremendous alarming cases of torture, and many of that cases, some of the victims died in that process. And it's very, very alarming to some extent that is going on in some of our security formations. And I have witnessed many of the victims. I have interviewed many of the victims. In one of the cases, a victim was subjected to torture. In that process, after torture, today he's having mental problem as a result of the trauma. And he witnessed when his brother was seriously tortured. After torture, he witnessed how his brother was shot and he bleeded to death. And these are just innocent people that are just going for their auntie's burial, and that's how their life was wasted. So we have several cases of victims who are being tortured. Just of recent, we released one, and it's really alarming. So that's why we really focus on the poor, to make sure we protect their rights, so that they can be able to enjoy their rights also as the rich enjoy their rights.
We are in Rivers State. You are based in Rivers State. Your headquarters is in Rivers State. Now, what is the role of citizens, residents of the state, when it comes to enforcing their own rights? Because both the Nigerian Constitution, the statutes of the state, give rights to individuals? To what extent, as someone who is in that area of advocacy, do residents of the state make use of these provisions in the law to insist on their rights? In fact, to even know what are their rights? To what extent?
Yeah, that has been some challenge we have, because majority of the people didn't really know their right.
Okay.
Because in the first place, you cannot defend what you don't know. That has been a big challenge. Many of the people even didn't know their right. You know, you first of all know your right to say, yeah, this thing belongs to me. And when you have that understanding, you can be able to say, no, you can't collect it from me, it belongs to me. But when they didn't know, you can do it and you get away with it. So that has been some little challenge. The people didn't really know their right. And also the ones that have some knowledge about their right, to enforce it has been a challenge, because in Nigeria, enforcing it will require you having the resources. And what are the resources meant for? The resources to get a good lawyer to defend you, resources to seek for redress in court. You need to get a lawyer to file a suit. And these things, you see, we have another challenge. The poor cannot be able to achieve this because they don't have the resources. Some of them may know their right, but they can't enforce it because they don't have the resources. And the system, the government should provide, make an conducive atmosphere for that to stop, so that the people can easily access free lawyers to really intervene on their case and seek for redress. But in reality, it's not real. People are not. So that's why it has been a very big challenge. And also it makes the perpetrator to drive on it, because they know that because the victims doesn't have the resources to seek for redress, so they see their fellow officers committed, so they can also venture into it. Because if the system, like in the Western nations, for instance, even the poor, if such thing happen, what they will do is, there is a system set already you can report to. They will give you a free lawyer to really apply for redress. And even the way they didn't have money, they will seek for resources within them and make sure they get your right, and they file a suit on your behalf. But here, it's not like that. So that's why some of them that even know their right can't do anything about it.
Now, looking at the role of the citizens and government agencies, there is the state is expected to, like I've noted, offer some buffer for citizens, not only to know their rights, but also to defend their rights. Now, in Rivers State, there is this document they call Administration of Criminal Justice Law. What is the benefit of that book to the citizens of Rivers State? What's the benefit?
Yeah, the Rivers State Administration of Criminal Justice System 2016 have been passed into law. Yes, the problem we have in this country is not law to some extent. We have good laws, but it's to implement those laws is the challenge we are having. We have this good law of the Rivers State Criminal Justice Administration of Criminal Justice System. Yeah, we have it. How many citizens knows that such documents exist? Did they create awareness about it? There are some agencies of the government that are supposed to take up this, make sure that the citizens understand it. And beyond writing a good document, implementing it is the challenge. Who is oversight? Who have oversight over them to do that? Now, this criminal justice system is specified that some of the magistrates should visit the divisional police headquarters to check their record of people who have been in detention, who have stayed more than they're supposed to do. But can you tell me one magistrate that have done that in Rivers State? None. Now, who is having oversight over that? No, nobody. So the criminal justice system is just that you see we have in Nigeria, we have to some extent, we have good laws. But the challenge we have is implementing that law is the big challenge we have. If this criminal justice system that Rivers State have is being implemented, my brother, every person will be extremely happy. But the challenge is who is going to implement it? If he implemented, look at today now, if you go to divisional police headquarters, you can see some people that have stayed in detention, which they ought not to stay more than 24 hours. But some of them have stayed there for 2 months. I didn't mean prison, I mean police station. If you go to federal SARS, you go to anti-kidnapping, some people have stayed 6 months. We just released someone that was detained in at this Borokri, this formation at quick response whatever at Borokri. He was arrested in January. What happened? He just went to, he's a poor boy that in his poverty, he just went to buy sugar and granite of 20 naira. He want to use to soak gari to drink. On his way, he just went out to bed. He was arrested and detained there. Terribly tortured, hanged. Terribly tortured. And at the end, when we intervened, he have stayed almost 5 months in police cell. So if you went to SARS, you will see that one is a child's play. And if we look at their victim, if you bring out a suspect in detention in SARS, my brother, you cannot believe what you will see. So that is the alarming rate of what we are talking about. Nobody cares, and the abuse is on increase on daily basis. Nobody challenges the impunity, and the perpetrators are getting away with it. And that's why the worst of it, when you intervene, they will transfer the officers. So it has been a big challenge. And the system, the criminal justice that's supposed to protect the citizen, nobody to implement it. And the government is looking the other way. So we really want this new administration, this government, they have played some role in making sure that this law is being enacted at the Rivers State House of Assembly. But we really want to make sure the implementation are being followed so that the people can enjoy the benefit of this good law. It's a good law. But we want the implementation is where the poor masses, every person will enjoy it.
If I may ask you, though you have insisted that because of poverty, the poor are the ones who most times are casualties of abuses and impunity by even state agencies, must somebody be rich to get justice? Must someone be rich to insist on their rights?
Yeah, by right, it ought not to be rich. As long as you're a human being, you have to enjoy your right. That's the law is meant. When the law is being meant, it's not meant for the rich or the poor. But the system turn it in that form. So it ought not to be so. Every citizen, both the poor or rich, supposed to enjoy their right. But the system in this country have turned it in that form. The corruption in the system, the corruption in the judiciary, made it very difficult for the poor to get justice. The corruption in the police system made it very difficult. The corruption in the prison make it very difficult. I'll give you examples of what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that if suspect is being arrested, it ought to be high before 24 hours to be arraigned in court if you find him wanting. But you end up, for him to be granted bail, he will demand bribe for bail. And if he doesn't have that resources, the money to pay, he will languish. Some of them may be subjected to torture, to go through excruciating pain so that they will put pressure on their family to raise money to come and pay the police to release them on bail. 2, if they're being arraigned in court, often the bail in court also, they will write it there is free. But in reality, it's not free. The court clerk, the prosecutor will demand money before they give you the bail form to fill. You have to pay. You have to also pay prosecutor. Pay and pay and pay and pay. So, and if they can't be able to afford this, they end up being remanded in prison custody. And that's why if you went to prison custody, 70% to 60-something% of some of them, if you didn't know why they were being arrested in the first place, but because they cannot be able to afford to pay what is being required, they were like the rich that have money. Once they pay their way from the police station, they were let off the hook in the first place, and they go their way, and that's ends it. So you often see that the poor is being made a scapegoat in the entire system. A pastor of recent, we intervened on that case, was arrested, and he was detained at anti-kidnapping. He was asked, they told him that after investigation, we found out that we are innocent. But you know, here is anti-kidnapping. You have to pay your way. They asked him to pay 250,000. And his mother was an old widow that doesn't have such money. He said, how can I get it? I'm just a pastor of a local church. And they can't afford it. They said, okay. say one of the human rights visited the police station. They asked him, why are you here? He says it's because of the money they are demanding, 215. I can't afford it. And the officer who is handling the case told him that since you have the guts to expose us, we will make life uncomfortable for you. You will waste your entire life in prison. Do you know what they did? Their commander then was Paul Obot. Why I'm calling his name is that he knows what I'm saying. This is the kind of atrocity he committed here. Before he ran away, they posted him out. And they arraigned him in court, charged him for kidnapping, give him 3 different charges on different suit number. To make it, the IPO told him when he taken him to court, said, you are going to waste your entire life in court. Somebody he have investigated and found out that he's innocent only because he cannot afford the 250,000, and they have the guts to tell people that that's why he are here. So they want him to waste his life in prison. If you see how much we spend in filing suit, bail application, we file it in 3 different places because you have 3 different suits. And we have to start to go through the Department of Public Prosecution is another terrible issue. So the entire system make it very difficult for the poor to really, and the officers that did this, highest they will do, they transfer them out. So that has been the challenge. So if the government will really rise up to put a stop to this and also punish perpetrators, and I really using this opportunity to beg the Inspector General of Police to really take drastic step to monitor activities of Commissioner of Police and the DPOs. Because if you look at, for instance, there is some DPOs, they will need to get returns from any person doing business within their area of jurisdiction. And if we don't, they will be unnecessarily arresting people, clamping down on people, dumping them in prison, and frame up charges. Of recent, a human rights activist, we too are not being spared because they see that we are trying to expose the activity. So they are trying to frame us up. One of our staff, Prince Brume Abraham, was just framed up by anti-kidnapping unit when the SP Paul Obot was there, of kidnapping a suspect who is in police custody. So it's very, very terrible and unbelievable. Somebody cannot believe. He was accused of kidnapping a suspect who is in police cell. And when we came with, they rise up and charge him to court for kidnapping. And at the end, we succeeded getting the person that was being alleged kidnapped, that is in the cell in State CID. And we went to Commissioner of Police and said, the person you alleged, this is a charge sheet, you are accusing our member of kidnapping someone. The person is in your custody. And he said, did I mean? I said, yes. My brother, it takes 6 months before this young man was being released in prison with 5 different bail applications. And he was subjected to terrible torture. And they shot him, but luckily the bullet missed and pierced through and pierced to the wall. So this is the level. If a human rights activist can go through this, then what happens to ordinary person? So that is the level of what we are talking about. And this thing is happening. The people doesn't have the resources to access the media to expose some of this. So that's why we really want the people, the citizens have a role to play to put a stop to this. For them to really rise up, publicize it, protest. And you see that we have a system also that you will beat a victim and you force him not to cry. How can you beat a child? You also force him not to cry. It's not possible. So the system is beating the poor and also in the sense of forcing them not to cry. So these are the situations we are facing every day. If the masses want to express their grievances, the police will tell them there is a order of whatever not to protest. But protest is the right of the citizen. It's totally wrong.
We are still here on the Neighborhood TV with our guest, a human rights activist, a campaigner and against torture, against police impunity. He is still here in the studio, and I am sure you've been enjoying listening to him so far. We will be back. When we come back, Mr. IJEOMAH I will take him on a document published by one of their international partners, the Amnesty International. Amnesty International came up with a publication entitled Nigeria, No Justice for the Dead. So when we come back, I will take him on that, what that document was. all about. We will be back after this time out.
Nigerians, our fearless officers and men of the Nigerian military are winning the war against Boko Haram. Today, all occupied territories have been recovered and Boko Haram has been degraded. Our affected brothers and sisters are getting their lives back. However, they are now after you and me. In our mosques, churches, schools, motor parks, markets, entertainment centers, and public gatherings. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me. Nigeria, unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Yeah, welcome back, viewer. I'm still here in the studio with Mr. Justine IJEOMAH, one of Nigeria's foremost human rights activists and anti-torture campaigners. He is still here. Before we went on break, I told you I was going to take him on a document, which I have here in my hands, published by the Amnesty International. It captions it, Nigeria, no justice for the dead. Mr. Justine IJEOMAH, what does this document I have in my hand say? No justice for the dead?
Yes, it is a caption of a report of cases of extrajudiciary killing and execution by the security agents that was being documented. Our organization, in collaboration with Amnesty International, 98% of all the cases in this report was handled by my organization, Human Rights, Social Development and Environmental Foundation. It's really alarming because I was personally in forefront of all the cases in this report, of cases of extrajudiciary killing. It bleeds my heart because if you see the level of young men that their life was just cut short as a result of impunity of the security agents who are being paid with taxpayers' money to protect us, that end up becomes the ones that are killing the ones that they are being paid to protect. And what really marveled me that after the publication of this report by Amnesty International, it was launched in Rivers State. In our office, it was the base where the report was being launched. Since this report was being launched, all the cases, up to 20-something cases of extrajudiciary killing that happened in this report, none of them was being investigated. And we go the extra mile. We send a copy to all the relevant agencies. Amnesty International also sent to the Nigerian, all the relevant agencies. Up to today, this report, these cases were not being investigated. And when we go the extra mile to write, because some of the corpses were deposited at the BMH mortuary.
That's a Breakfast Memorial Hospital.
Yes, especially hospital. We write to the hospital requesting the corpse to be released and autopsy to be conducted. We write to the Commissioner of Police. I personally sent all the correspondence to the Commissioner of Police. And I have several meetings with him in respect to this, requesting the release of some of the corpses, because the corpses are many, and demanding investigation into the cases. And at the end, they end up collaborating with the Ministry of Health, and all those corpses, none of them autopsy was conducted, but they buried them in mass burial. After all our effort for autopsy to be conducted, and nothing was being done. So the reason of burying them in mass burial to make sure that they bury the evidence we can use to seek for redress for all the police officers and other security agents involved in these killings. You know, this is where, as a human rights activist, I'm a human being. Till today, it have a psychological effect on me, how our people operate, how our government, who are being elected to protect the right of the citizens, how they treat these citizens they are being paid to be protected. So it's really alarming. All the police officers involved in this extrajudiciary killing, all of them were being transferred. So they saw it is not we did it and nothing happened. They often threaten us with that. We go to, they will tell you that we will kill you and nothing will happen, because the ones that have killed in the past, nothing happened. So they will still kill the new one, nothing happened. So that's why they do it with impunity. So that is the big challenge. The entire of this report that was published by international, global, respected human rights organization, Amnesty International, nothing was done on this. So, and other reports, the same way government will tell you that we will look into it, and that is the end. Till today, all this, and we have some of them, for instance, the one that 8 persons who were preparing for their auntie's burial. You can see in the report, you can see here, you can see the case of the case of these are parents. These are parents of the victim. This is the mother. This is a young man that was killed. And they are 8. And in this operation, a human rights activist, the director of an NGO, was also killed in this operation. What happened? That they were preparing for their auntie's burial in Bayelsa, in Obuya precisely, the village of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. On their way, they are waiting for a bus that will convey them from Port Harcourt to Bayelsa. And the young man that will do the barbecue, he have bought the chicken, bought the fish, and all the ingredients he will use for it. And other people, they are waiting for the bus. The young man who is driving the bus was arrested at Abonema Wharf Junction Road by the police. And when he was arrested, he was asked, his phone rang. The police picked the call and told the people, they say, yes, we are waiting for you because every person is ready. All the women, every person is waiting for you. The police said, okay, we are coming. That the young man gave them his vehicle to come and carry them. And it looks like a tale story, but it's real, and it happened in this country. And they went to Romomasi. And the people were giving them direction where they are until police arrived to that place. And when by then they have informed the women that the vehicle is coming, every person jump out and come out. They carry their barbecue instrument, come out, carry the fish, come, every damn thing. Once the police guide them, they say, we are here, we are here. They say, this is where we are. Once they arrive, the police bring out gun and surrender every person. And some of the women were so scared, they start to run when they hear gunshot. And before you know it, 8 young men were shot. And the people bring out posters and everything of the burial they are going to, and everything they are going. And some of them that were shot, none of them was taken to hospital, and they were brought to a police station. Many of them bleeded, and 4 died. 4 that was later alive. When they see what they have committed, they frame that 4 up that they are armed robbers. And even when there is no evidence to prove they are armed robbers, they bring old gun they have and place it on them that this is the gun recovered from them, and arraign them in magistrate court, precisely in formal court 2 then, Moke's court. So at the end, after many years of this battle, the DPP advice come up that the young men were innocent, that they are going for their burial and water, and ordered for the remaining 4 to be released. That 4 have gunshot. All of them were shot. And at the end, those 4 that were shot, we requested for their body to be released. Till today, those body was not released. After several letters written to the Ministry of Health, to the BMH, to the police, all the authorities, at the end they joined them in all. And we start to mention cases here, because his detailed case I was following up. It's very, very alarming and heartbroken. One of them now is having mental problem because as of the mental torture he go through when he watched them witness the killing of his direct junior brother who want to help him in the barbecue. So, and you know, my brother, issue of human rights in Nigeria, me that is a victim, I'm suffering my grey headache today as a result of torture I was subjected to. I've been arrested for 26 times just to make sure that I am being subjected to be silent. But I will not be silent. And today, I have survived 2 assassination attempts But my joy is that even though I'm being killed today, I have produced men and women who can keep on the flag, the light burning, who will still demand for justice in this country. Until we get this being addressed, this country will not enjoy it. Because if you make a system that the poor will not enjoy the government, the country, yeah, the poor will turn back to be aggressive, to be hostile to the rich. Because you see that this country is just like we and them. We are the poor and them are the rich. So that's just how the country is being divided. The line is being divided in poverty line. So that's why we really want this government to really look into the activity. And precisely the case of this no justice for the dead. This report, the government have a copy of it. We demand for investigation into this killing. And also we demand for other cases of extrajudiciary killing perpetrated by the security agents in this state to be brought to book. Just of recent, the military shot a 17-year-old boy at Abuja waterfront. I was really involved in that. We wrote to the chief of army staffs and he sent army officers to come here for investigation. After that, nothing have happened till today. And next thing we see, the officers involved will be transferred out. So we really want a stop to this. We want government to really start to know that the right of the poor people matters. And also to make sure they make an ennobling environment for them to also enjoy their rights. Thank you.
Between the time of this report was launched in Rivers State here and now, have you seen any improvement as per this type of cases that are contained in this report?
To some extent, there is some improvement. There is some reduction in the cases of extrajudiciary killing, but they have not totally stopped. But the area I'm having challenge is on issue of torture. Torture is really, to some extent, on increase. If you go to stations like anti-kidnapping section, if you go to sections like anti-courtism, they do it as a normal practice to subject people to torture. If you went to SARS, it's also a routine that subject victims to torture. So that's why we really want the Inspector General of Police to really address his officers to know that the citizens have rights. We have a campaign we are doing on Stop Torture in collaboration with Amnesty International. Yeah, we are strongly campaigning for torture to be criminalized in this country. You know, torture is against the law, but it's not yet criminalized in Nigeria. So we are demanding, we are asking for torture to be criminalized. There is a bill at the National Assembly. I always classify it as a motion without movement. This bill has been there for many years. So we want torture to be criminalized so that the perpetrator can be really brought to book. So we really want that also. It will go a long way. And also these cases of extrajudiciary killing, this report in 2013, that the government should dust it out and demand for perpetrators to be brought to book.
Before we go, Mr. Ijeomah, we would like to know from you, the situation you have painted is really one that can frighten anybody, that police can kill anybody, police can label anybody to be a criminal, a kidnapper or an armed robber. It leaves one with much to be afraid of. Now, if we may ask you, what do you think is the solution to this? How can this be treated so that both the citizens and the security agencies who are paid with the public's money, the taxpayers' money, will live in trust of each other? Most Nigerians don't want to go to have anything to do with the police. Police will preach, oh, police are your friends. But in the actual for Nigerians, they are not our friends. So what is the solution to this scenario?
Yeah, the solution to it is that perpetrators should be brought to book. The police have internal mechanism to address such cases. They have orderly room trial. All the security formations in this country have their internal mechanism how to address it. We want all officers involved in this act to be brought to book. And when other ones watch their fellow officers being tried for such crime, it will go a long way to send a strong signal to them that this act you are about to venture into, that you will be brought to book if peradventure you committed it. It will go a long way to send a strong signal to reduction. Also, we want the Commissioner of Police to make the phone number of all the DPOs and his own contact open to the public. And you know, when you make it open to the public, easily the public can assess the senior officers, assess the DPOs if they are being subjected by the rank and file at their station or anywhere. I was so impressed of the, I think, the Commissioner of Police of Delta State. I'm very, very happy. And also the current Commissioner of Police of Lagos State is a role model. If you just see the new release they just released about, he gave a stern warning to all the DPOs who are getting returns from the bad ones and whatever, that he don't want their cell to be filled up, that they should, if they are being suspected of anything, they should be arraigned them in court or release them on bail. These are the things we want to see. But here we really want the Commissioner of Police make his number open for the public. They are serving the public, so the public they are serving should get their contact, not a secretive thing that is only made for maybe the A-list. No, it ought not to be so. So we want them to make their numbers open. And also there is a human rights desk. This thing was formed by the former IG, I think Inspector General of Police, the former IG Okiro. There's what they call Police Human Rights Desk. Yeah, these desks are no longer functioning in any divisional headquarters. So we want this to be revived. And let them bring in human rights, the police officers that are well trained to mind these positions. And also, police have this issue of you call to the response team. Yeah, we really want them now. They will really accept your call, but the level of delay, you will totally be frustrated, and you end up paying the police the money. Just of recent, we have a case of Atokboro police station, and also this My One police station is really. These are some stations that are really terrible now on issue of corruption. It's very, very on an alarming rate. The level of corruption being perpetrated in some of these stations now is very, very on an alarming rate. And if they demand you can't pay, they will frame up charges against you. It's a common thing. So we really want the Commissioner of Police to set a standard. We want to see that he is serious. He wants a stop to this. Automatically, when he sends such signal, there will be change. Our colleagues in Lagos are bringing feedback, tremendous good development since the new the commissioner take over in Lagos. He sounded very clear to all the divisional heads and the area command on issue of corruption, on issue of incessant abuse of people's rights, and they see how serious he is, and quickly they are fitting into the system now. So that's the kind of leadership we want. So that's what we want for the Commissioner of Police also, to really play in Rivers State and other states also.
Recently in Lagos, we learned that a DPO who shot a young man who went to attend a party have been facing a courtroom trial, and the Commissioner of Police, just to confirm what you have said, the Commissioner of Police there said the man after that should be arraigned in court to answer for his misuse of firearms. That's a good one. But before we let you go, in 2013 you won the Paranga Award. Could you tell our viewer what it was all about?
Yes, you know, in 2013 I won the Paranga Prize, a very prestigious award. It's a global award. The prize is all about the work I'm doing. You know, I did not know that the effort I'm putting in fighting for the right of the common man, the right of children living on the street, is being recognized globally. So I feel I'm doing a little I can to salvage the situation, at least to bring succor to the downtrodden. And I was so surprised that I was nominated among all the finalists in the whole world, and at the end I won the prize. The ceremony was done in Sweden, in Stockholm, the Swedish capital. I was really happy about it because it encourages me that the labor was not in vain, and also the little contribution we are making here locally is being recognized globally. It also encourages us. But let me tell you one story about the award. I was informed by the Swedish government that Nigerian government wrote to them that they want to get detail of their citizen that won this award. And it may surprise you that during the ceremony in Stockholm, all the countries that send their delegates, their ambassadors, everywhere feed up from different countries. Do you know that the Nigeria government, who their citizens win the award, have no single representatives? You know, I was so shocked, and even the other countries were also shocked when they said, "Where is your government, your Nigerian's ambassador in Sweden, who's supposed to represent Nigeria, or any delegate sent from Nigeria?" But nobody. So that is the level that, to some extent, I foresee that the government is really not sincere to some extent on issue of fighting human rights, but they only do that just to please the media, say whatever they want to say. But in reality and practical, they are not really sincere to fight the right, to protect the right of the common man. But we want a change of that in this dispensation.
Sometimes when I listen to you, you narrated some heartbreaking stories of minors being raped by adults. What is the situation now? Is it as it was when last I listened to you, or has it got better?
To some extent, it have not gone better. Also, my brother, we face a lot of frustration in this struggle. The system is frustrating us. Do you know, I have a case of 13-year-old girl child who was taken by his auntie. The husband of that his auntie is the one raping this child. And he rapes this child on daily basis. Once the wife go to work, the man will take his children to school. And when this child want to join in the vehicle, because the child's school is along the same route the man's children are schooling, he will say, "No, wait, prepare something for me." He will take his children to and come back. It's only him and this little child. And often before he come back, the child have dressed in his school uniform. Based on the child's story, I shed tears. And I look at it as a father. If I can't protect this child, I did all. But the police at area command frustrated this case. So they turn it often for money-making venture. They will tell the victim, the suspects, this is a child and it's a serious charge. If you can't pay a huge amount of money, we will arraign you in court. And they will end up paying. And when they pay, they will totally frustrate the case. That case was frustrated. And this man will rape this child on daily basis like that. When we rescue this child, through our radio program, the child got our number and they called us. We directed to our office. And after that, we keep this child at the children's home, get the contact of the parents, invited them, report to the police. And when the man was arrested at the end, he paid a huge amount of money, was let off the hook.
To who, sir? To police or to the
To
parents?
the police.
Okay.
And now when we insisted on going further on the case, the man now started to use police to threaten the father. Even he used the police from area command Port Harcourt here and arrest the father. It's when we intervene. I say, what? You have the God? You rape this child on daily basis? You did this terrible atrocity? And you are not ashamed because you feel you have money? I look at the police officer who was, I think, one Adojo. I'm calling his name because I have facts of what I'm saying. I said, do you have conscience? If this child is your child, will you do the same thing because of money or because of what? And we wrote several letters to the Commissioner of Police. Nothing was done till today. Every effort we made was totally frustrated. The case we reported at the CPS, and the officer manipulated and wrote to the CPS to transfer the case file. And they want to turn it, but when we insisted, Nothing happened on that case till today. So we have many cases of several cases of rape, but when you started it, it's just one of the cases of few times we just got a good judgment at Obibo court that a little children was being raped, I think 7 years and 5 years at the end. But even before the police have compromised it also and let the suspect go. It's when we now wrote to them that we're going to make the whole world to know about this, and now they rearrest the suspect and arraign him in court. Even in court also, they say they want settlement, and what I say, what kind of settlement you want? A rapist? So at the end, he was sentenced. So it's really, it's a big challenge also. It really frustrates us because the system is not really helping. But we are watching the new government, the effort they are also making. Let them really create a good atmosphere, because at the Senate I had them raising it up now seriously, because it's getting to an alarming stage now. The issue of rape is on an alarming stage, and also domestic violence is an alarming stage. We have been handling, but we are so much overwhelmed because of resources. We are handling cases of police arrests, and every day we are running from one station to from court. Now domestic violence, the case, we have to now streamline cases now to cases of police arrest and different other ones now. So, but we are looking to get funder. We have strong passion to really commence our program on issue of domestic violence and cases of rapes.
Well, we are almost at the end of today's program. I'm sure you have enjoyed listening to Mr. JUSTINE IJEOMAH, who is the Executive Director of HURSDEF. HURSDEF is a human rights organization based in Port Harcourt. It is Human Rights, Social Development and Environmental Foundation. And he's been telling us what your rights are, how your rights could be abused or can be abused, and how rights of people have been getting abused by agencies of the state paid to protect the citizens and their rights. He also told us the efforts they are making to ensure that perpetrators are punished by law. However, he also told us of the frustration they go through from time to time. He also told us that their doors are open to citizens of Nigeria resident in Rivers State or even outside Rivers State who have cases of abuse against them. Mr. JUSTINE, it's been a pleasure to have you in the studio today. We appreciate your time. We know you're a very busy person, but for you to be here today, it shows that you really are committed not only to doing the field work, but also to do the media work, so that our viewers would know what they ought to do from time to time. It's really been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
We just do hope that some other time when we invite you, you will graciously oblige us your time also to be here, because your activities come every day. Thank you once more for being here. Viewer, that's all we have for today. Mr. IJEOMAH has been speaking on human rights in Rivers State. We do hope you have enjoyed us. Continue to watch the Neighbourhood TV. You can download our mobile app. It's free on Google Play Store. Just type the Neighbourhood News and download that beautiful app. You can also watch us on our social media platforms, as you will find on your screen. Watch us on the Neighbourhood newspaper. Watch us also on the Neighbourhood Live, all on Facebook. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, the Neighbourhood TV. You can also watch us on our website, tntvonline.com. It's been my pleasure to have anchored today's program with the host of our team here, who have made it possible for you to watch us from anywhere you are. Until we come your way next time, but not until Mr. IJEOMAH gives you his final word. What's your final word, sir, for our viewers?
Yeah, my final words for the viewers is that we want a system in this country where the rights of the common man will be respected and will be protected. That's the major thing I want the government to do for the citizens. We also want the governor, because the governor of Rivers State is very active governor. We also want him to have a focus on issue of the right of the citizens he is governing, to really protect it, and also work together with organizations like we to put a stop to the level of impunity that is going on in this state.
That's it, our viewer. From wherever you have watched, from us here in our studio in Port Harcourt, we say thank you, see you some other time, as we say bye.